I just came back from Missouri, San Diego, to go complete training with her to become a United States Marine. One of the things I noticed when I got there, so I'll just say how the first day went. So on the first day, you get off from the airport, it's late at night. So it's like you're cold, you're tired, you sleep on the plane, you're tired, so you're just there. You get the USO, you're snacking a little bit, you're having a chill time. Your heart drops as soon as you see the first drill instructor. So everyone's
First
just
what?
the first drill instructor. As soon as you see that first drill instructor,
Drill
immediately,
instructor, okay.
immediately you put that stuff down. They come in, they take you out, you get into the bus. So you get into that bus, until you put your head between your knees, so you don't know where you're going. So you're pretty much just in the darkness of where you go sleep. You're literally in a fetal position the whole ride to MCRD. Then you hear like the running footsteps, and you're gonna hear the drill instructor yell out loud. You just hear him go like everyone put your hands up. So you're getting yelled at as soon as you get to my bus. They yell you get on the yellow footprints. Those of y'all who know the yellow footprints. So you get on these yellow footprints, you got attention, they kind of mess with you however they want to mess with you. So as soon as you get in there, the whole point of that is the whole week is receiving week. So it's the processing week. So they get you started on your paperwork and everything. You know, from there they shaved my head bald, skin bald. One guy, he got his head shaved. They asked him, did he want to keep his hair? He said, yes sir, I want to keep my hair. So they shaved his head, they gave him his piece of hair, he goes, there you go, you can keep it now. So, going through that whole thing, personally for me, I got to that first Sunday. And so all I could think about was like, wow, like my first Sunday here, and I was like, and just a week before that, I had just got my first Sunday here as well. And so I'm trying to stay strong because I'm like, wow, like they strip you of everything. They strip you of your identity, of how you talk, how you control your life, your hair, your everything you ever known, they strip you that. That's pretty much how it is. Even your clothes, they immediately they change you right in front of everybody, and you gotta go into certain clothes. So you put on your tighty whities, you put on your green shorts, your green shirt. You're pretty much in different clothes from there. And so on that first Sunday, I'm still trying to stay strong. I'm like, okay, I got this. It's just 3 months. I got this. I'm gonna make it. And I'm still losing my faith because I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. Like this is just hard. And so that first Sunday, I just remember I'm in my camis. I'm like, okay, they set us in a theater. The chapel wasn't big enough to fit everybody from all companies. So we're there in the theater room. We're waiting. So I'm waiting, and I'm just waiting for the service to start. While I'm waiting, they pass out these Bibles. I just remember they pass out the Bibles. I'm like, okay, I felt the presence of God immediately when I put my hand on that military Bible. I felt the presence of God just coming in. Like I was about to start tearing up. I was still trying to stay strong because I'm like, no, I can't cry. I was like, being a Marine, it means you can't cry, from what I was thinking. And so I'm like looking through the Bible, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look. Being that it's a military Bible, I looked in that first page, and all I see was that, thank you for what you're doing. Automatically, I started tearing up because I was like, that's like, wow, this is just too much. Like I was stripped of everything, and yet the only one that was gonna get me through boot camp was God, because that's all you have. And all you have throughout boot camp is either God and your buddies, or if you don't have your buddies because you're not friends with them, all you have is God. And every Sunday, I just remember I'm going, because he was all I had throughout the week. And so every Sunday I would cry every day because either a song that would make me cry and it was really good, or just the fact that the presence of God was in me. Well, technically, the presence of God was with me every Sunday. I just remember feeling like, wow, he's with me, I can do this. Every Sunday I'm like, it's a restart. Every Sunday, the presence of God would come and I'm like, okay, and now I have the strength to get through this week. So they would still you're still going through, I wouldn't say brutal training because that technically hasn't happened yet, but you're going through very intense training. And so in that training, you're going through hell because you're not getting treated like, you're being treated like nothing. That's how it is. You're treated like you're the scum of the earth. That's just how it is. That's how they have to treat you. And they even treat you like in a certain way, like you can't say you can't just do anything you want. You have to ask permission for every little thing. And so like I said, you're stripped of everything. So you have no rights. You don't have any right at all. You're just, whatever they tell you, you're under orders. So when you go to church, you finally have that freedom to just be free, you know, 'cause that's one thing that we're promised through God's eyes is you're allowed to have your own free will. You're free. You go back to the squad bay, with your drill instructors, you don't have that free will. You don't have that luxury of being able to say I, or being able to use the bathroom, head as I call it. You don't have the luxury to do any of that stuff anymore. Not until they say it. Not until they say it. So you're pretty much going through everything alone until eventually when you start making friends there and your friends become brothers, in my case. And so towards the end, when the training just started getting harder, for every little thing, every challenge, because everything was pass or fail. If you failed, you stayed behind a week. So all those friends you made, if you failed, they got to move on while you stayed behind. That's just how it was. I met a guy who was there, he was there for 6 months, the start of summer. He didn't graduate until the day I graduated. So he was there from the start of summer to the start of winter almost. So he was there for 6 months. And then another guy that I knew, he was there for about a year. He had to go through the same thing I had to go through every day. Every day was living hell. He had to go through that for a year. Either he failed, or he got injured and got held back, or many things. I don't know how he got in there for a year, but trust me, after a year, most people lose their confidence and just want to quit already. So, thank God for me it was only 3 months, because if I failed any type of challenge, or I failed any type of test or anything at all, I wouldn't be here right now, because I would be still there at MCRD. So every time there was something big, something major that I knew I couldn't accomplish myself, or something that I just couldn't do on my own, or something that I didn't think that I was physically capable of, I prayed to God every day. Even if it was the same thing, I'd pray every day, God, please help me do this. I cannot do it alone. And then after that, I'd say a prayer to make sure everyone back home was safe, because that's all we had was people there. I prayed to God at MCRD, but we'd always pray for the people back home, because we knew we were getting support, but it was like, we want God to know that we appreciate the people back home as well, So every week was a new challenge. Every challenge was just harder. So you're just there thinking like, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna fail? And you never know if you're gonna fail or not. That's just the scary part, because you never know unless you try. It's only impossible until it's done. That's all I can say. But still, you're there and you're wondering like, can I make it? Will I make it? Will I fail? Will I quit? You don't ever know. That's just how the training has. They have you messed up mentally, and physically. You just get better with how much effort you put in. But still, it messes you mentally, because you start thinking yourself. You start doubting yourself, even if you never did. You doubt yourself so much. But just know, like when I would doubt myself a lot. I would doubt myself a lot. I always counted on God to be with me. Every prayer I ever said was answered, because I knew when I did that challenge, whatever it was, whether it be a test or a physical challenge, I wasn't on my own. And I would feel like I would pray to God, if I can't move anymore, my body gives out. If I can't walk, if I can't wake up, just please get me up. Please move me when I can. And that's exactly what happened, especially the crucible. And that's the hardest part about you're still a recruit, but that's when the transformation from recruit to Marine happens. It's during the crucible. They named it after the crucifixion of Christ, because the whole point of the crucible is you have to hike a big old mountain. In my eyes, it's the size of the Tower of Americas. Wow. If you go downtown, it's the Tower of Americas. And during the crucible, like I said, they call it the crucible because, as you know in the Bible, Christ had to carry the cross up a mountain. And one thing I learned on church was Christ had to do that by himself. He goes, but this time he gave you brothers to do it with you. So that was motivating. But they called it after the crucible after Christ. But every day while you're there, it's only 3 days, but that's every day you have. You only get one MRE, which means you only get one meal, and you have to make it last the whole day. It's literally just a small bag of food, about that big. One main meal, 4 snacks, and that's all you got for the whole day. And you have to make that last all day. As you're doing it though, you're going through intense physical training as well. So you're not just like, okay, you're strolling around, you got this much to eat. No, you're going through the whole thing with that much food, like literally little food, one MRE, and you had to go through many physical challenges, such as hiking certain mountains. You had, especially when we did movements, we had to carry 50-pound backpacks. We call them our day packs, and you had to travel from point A to point B. And depending how long it took you, it was like 40 miles, just 40 miles, just traveling from point A to point B. And then even when you got from point A to point B, there you had to do a physical challenge. So you'd have to do some type of physical challenge that represented what a certain Marine did. So you do a physical challenge there. As soon as you're done, you pretty much hike to the next mountain, or to the next point, to the next point, to the next point. So you'd wake up to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You weren't done until like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock at night even. So you're doing physical challenges all day, and all you have is 1 hour to eat, and you only get 3 to 4 hours of sleep. On that second day, same thing happens again, only this time they make you eat all your food because on the day of that reaper hike where you have to climb that mountain, you only get one snack. You wake up and you have a snack, and I got a snack that was only about like that big. It was an energy bar. That's all you got. We have to keep in mind we only had a certain amount of food for each day as we're doing physical challenges, so you're burning off those calories pretty fast, and you only have little sleep, so you're tired, you're hungry, you're being pushed to your limits. That day of the reaper hike, we were doing so many movements that it took me 3 to 4 minutes just to like get up because my back was hurting that bad. It took me like everyone was online, they already had the weapons in their hand. It took me 3 to 4 minutes just to get up because my back specifically was hurting that bad. By the time I got up, I was like, okay, I'm up, but like now my back's hurting. I'm like, can I make it? Will I make it up that mountain? That's the scary part, thinking like in your head, can I make it? Because now my body hurts. So I pray to God real quick. I'm like, God, I don't know if I can make it. My body hurts. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm scared. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Like, God, please help me. We're hiking. I just feel my feet. They're hurting. My feet are hurting. My ankles are hurting. My back is hurting. I can't. Like, I'm literally like feeling on my body. I'm pushing my body to a limit I never pushed myself before. So now, like, I keep hiking. This time, instead of using our day packs, we put on our main packs. That's 80 pounds. That's your day pack that weighs like 50 pounds, but now you put your sleeping system, your sack system, you put everything on there, plus including your weapon in your hand. So now you have your 80 pounds of gear on your back with your weapon that's like plus 7 pounds. So like, we're on 87 pounds, I wanna say. So you're traveling that much weight just to the mountains, 3 miles. Now you still gotta hike up the mountain. So you get up that mountain. The first one's okay, like it's all foggy, like we can't really see the mountain, everything's all fog, so me and my platoon, we're already, like we just got done hiking 3 miles to the mountain, so now we gotta go up the mountain. They give us a break, because they can't just kill us like that, so you give us a break. They actually give us an apple, you only get 1 apple. So plus the snack, plus the apple. Still not enough energy, because you, through the intense training we did every day, just 1 apple and 1 energy bar, trust me, that's not enough. You had something in your system, but you're still extremely tired and hungry, and yet you still have to just do 3 miles, and you still have to go up that big mountain. That big mountain, like I said, it's Tower Americas. That's how big it is. So from there, we stop, and we have to, since it was so foggy, we had to follow a truck that had a light. So me and my platoon, since we won honor platoon, meaning we were the best in Charlie Company, not to brag. We got best in Charlie Company, we had to go first. So we're here, we're waiting for the truck to go up. We're like, okay, it's going up. It'll stop right now. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. We're looking up as it goes up. It's like, we're not stopping. It's not stopping. We're like, okay, we're looking up. It's not stopping. Okay, it finally stops. It finally stops at like 4 stories up. In our eyes, it was like 4 stories. It took 4 stories just to get up. So that meant, like, it's all slanted like that. So like, if you ever just went up a mountain and just felt tired from like the strain on your legs, try doing the same thing, but now you have 80 pounds of gear on your back with the weapon in your hand. So now you're pushing your body like just to go up that mountain, just to go up that first hill. Because it goes like this, it goes up, and it goes straight, and then up, and it goes straight, and then up, and it goes straight. So now you gotta go up a hill, walk that little straight line, and go up the hill, and then walk the straight line again. And then we made it to that last hill. And they stop you before you go over that hill, because they tell you, before you go over that hill, it's like, this is where you're gonna be part of the brotherhood. This is where everything changes for you. This is where you transition from recruit to Marine. This is where you enter a brotherhood where everyone looks out for you. There is no denying that you will not get help. Like, this is where it all changes. This is where your life starts. This is pretty much where everything you worked hard for is gonna happen. It was not for nothing. And so becoming a Marine means that no matter where you are in the world, the Marine Brotherhood has your back no matter where you go. And that means you will now be part of the toughest military branch the world has to offer. Just the branch itself, the toughest military branch has to offer. So we actually get to take a break, and we're all just kind of excited, and we're looking around like, guys, we're about to make it. And so they tell us you got to war cry up the mountain. So we get our rifles, we get our main packs on our bodies. We're no longer like tired and hungry. We're more focused on the actual boat. So we're excited at this point. And so we war cry, like we're screaming at the top of our lungs, war crying. We just run up that last hill. We get tired immediately as soon as we got over it. We're like, okay, now we're tired. So you get over that mountain, you're tired. You walk down it. You're taking a couple turns left and right. And then from there, they begin the ceremony. So from there, the ceremony, they get us all in formation. There's first squad, second squad. You get to choose which drill instructor gives you your Eagle Globe and Anchor. I chose one of my drill instructors, Staff Sergeant McDerrick, only because personally for me, I looked up to him as a leader, and he looked like one of those guys you create like. He's like, in my eyes, he was like that one main character in one of those war video games that was always like the one that was getting through every battle. He looked like that, like just built strong and everything, and he just had that leadership. Like, if he told me to go to war and he told me we're not gonna come back because we're all gonna die, I'd follow that guy to war, go through hell and back with that guy, because that's how much his leadership meant to me, because that's how much of a leader I look at him as. So I chose him to get my Eagle Globe and Anchor. I get to that, I get in his line, he's right in front of me. He gives you your Eagle Globe and Anchor, you have to give him the proper reading. But there's a different way to say the proper reading. So as a recruit, you're supposed to say, "Good morning, sir." Once he gives you your Eagle Globe and Anchor, he tells you congratulations, and he shakes your hand. After that, you tell him, "Good morning, Staff Sergeant." So you no longer have to say sir, you call him by his rank, because officially at that point, once you get your EGA, you're officially a Marine. So from there, I just told him, "Good morning, sir." "Good morning, sir." Gives me my Eagle Globe and Anchor, shakes my hand, and he walks by. Just the fact that I shook his hand, I was like, oh my God, like, I shook his hand. I was like, he put me through so much hell for 3 months. I shook his hand, I was like, oh my God, he actually is human. And then he told me congratulations, and then from there I got my Eagle Globe and Anchor. I told him, "Good morning, Staff Sergeant." I had it in my left hand, because you shake his hand with your right. And I looked at my Eagle Globe and Anchor, and I'm not gonna lie. From there, I looked at it, my eyes just got so watered that I started crying. Like, I don't think the only time I ever cried that hard was just the day before that on Sunday when I was crying at church. Because every day I cried at church. I did not cry at church. But I didn't cry this hard unless it was church. And it was like, I looked at it and I cried really, really hard. Like, I cried, and then we sang the Marines hymn on top of the mountain with our captain. And from there we had to travel back down the mountain. We had to travel back down the mountain all the way back to our houses, so our barracks, where we originally stayed. So we had to hike down the mountain, go past certain fields, and then from there we finally got home. So we were still hungry and tired, but at least we got to go home hungry and tired and Marine.
That's right.
And then from there we actually got to get breakfast again. We got our Warriors breakfast. So from there they actually gave us like so much food. Literally, I was like, oh my God, they're giving us steaks, they're giving us omelets, they're giving us bacon, they're giving us cake. They're giving us all kinds of food, so you're taking it and you're like, wow, like this was worth it. Like, this was worth it. Now you have a Marine, now you have the title of a Marine, and you have a really good breakfast. You're like, I made it. But literally, I couldn't have done all that without God. And like I said just days before that, there were times I wanted to quit. Especially before that time, before I got my EGA, it was on a week before that, I got confronted by a drill instructor. And of course, he put me down, like just with words. He put me down in a way where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Not because it was hard, but because he made me feel like I wasn't worth anything. He made me feel like my life, personally, he made me feel like my life wasn't worth anything, and then he made me feel like I wasn't worth anything to be there. I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. So he made me feel like I wasn't crap. Like I didn't deserve to be a Marine. I didn't deserve to be there. But he was like, I could have got the title of Marine, but he would have made me feel like I didn't earn it. It wasn't until I talked to a buddy of mine, and I was just like, I'm not okay, man. I'm not okay. I lost all motivation. I lost all faith in myself. I was like, I can't. Like, I don't have anything in me. And I was gonna go to church, hopefully that it would help me. But instead of going to the church I was usually going to, which was kind of like this, just a little more music and live band, I went to his church. It's still a Christian church. It's just they do it differently. It was Pentecostal. It was my first time going to Pentecostal one. This is weird because to me, like, I felt the presence of God the first time I went to church, but this one was different because when I walked in that sanctuary, that little church, it was like a little room. I walked in there, everything that I felt bad about myself, every little darkness that was inside me real quick just went away. As soon as I went in there, I was like, whoa, like, it went away. And I was like, the presence of God just went in me, and I was just like, I can't feel it no more. I don't feel any darkness. And then my friend goes to tell his pastor he brought me. I'm expecting to shake his hand. He gives me a big old hug. I'm like, okay, this was really good. And then we did the praise and worship, and he's talking to us as we're praising and worshiping. And I start crying. Like, I start crying because I'm like, I feel like I had nothing in me. And I guess, personally for me, I feel like that was just the presence of God coming into me, knowing that I needed help. I have just fallen, and he was picking me up.
Amen.
And so we're getting supported by everybody from Fox Company to Kilo Company to Charlie Company. Like hugs all around pretty much. So we're all in a group hug type of thing. And so the pastor's with us and he gives me a hug and he looks me dead in the eye and he goes, I can tell the presence of God is in you right now. Because he's speaking through your tears. I can see it right now. So he gives me a hug and he's letting me cry in his shoulders because that's how strong it was. I felt it. And I know my friend felt it too because he started crying in tears too. Because one thing that my friend taught me, not the pastor, although I feel like my friend should be a good pastor, he showed me on a piece of paper, he goes, write down what's in your heart. Because that was that lesson of the day, what is in your heart. So he was telling me what is in your heart. So I get a piece of paper and I write down what's in your heart. What was in my heart? But I wrote what the positive things were. Because I was afraid to put negatives. And I tell him afterwards, I was like, I put the positive because I was afraid to put the negatives. I didn't want to put the negatives down. So he told me to put the positives, and then on the right side I put my negatives. And he goes, I can't remember word for word, so forgive me on that, but I just remember the main point was everything right here is, everything on the left is the person you want to be, or the person who you really are. But everything on the right, which is the negative side, was the things that would stop you from being that person. So like everything negative, that was what was stopping you from being who you really want to be. It's kind of like a barrier. And he goes, the thing that breaks down that barrier is God himself. That's the only way you can really break down that barrier. When you ask God for help, and that wall of negativity that was in your heart, it breaks down because now that it's broken down that barrier of what negative is, now you can finally be who you really are, who you are truly inside, like the positive things. I remember that point. There was another point to that, but I kind of forgot because I pretty much got the message at that point. But there was more to that story, and I just remember like what I put down positive, what I put down that personally for me that was positive, each one had a meaning that I didn't recognize. Like I didn't realize like, oh, wow, like there really is a meaning for that positive in my life. All that basically pointing out that I was good. I was a good man, at least from what I was hearing. And I think after I felt that presence of God, I finally felt like I was actually a good man. I could actually look in the mirror and say I'm a good man. After that, I'm still crying, I'm still worshiping. I'm just thinking to myself like, wow, like God is in me right now. I could do it again. At that point, I didn't have any darkness in me anymore. I was like, I got this. The crucible's tomorrow, and I got this. I was like, I can do this. I can do this. And so, me and my buddy, we're still crying because